All right, everyone, welcome to week 4 of our social emotional learning workshop. It's hard to believe that we only have 1 week left. This week we will be focusing on relationship skills, but specifically communication skills. Just a reminder, this is a skill building workshop, so we're working on building skills. If you do have a mental health concern, you can reach out to your school counselor, or you can reach out to our mental health program specialist, Ashley Sanders, and her phone number and email are listed on the slide. Okay, so let's recap. In week 1, we talked about self-awareness, or being able to identify what we are feeling. And then don't forget, self-awareness also includes recognizing our own strengths and weaknesses and our morals and values. So having a really good awareness of who we are. In week 2, we learned some self-management strategies to manage our emotions. These included mindfulness, deep breathing, body scanning, taking a break. But self-management also includes time management skills and goal setting skills. Last week we talked about social awareness, and we talked about perspective taking, and we talked about the wrinkled heart activity. So just being aware of how our actions can impact others. Next week will be our last week, and we will focus on responsible decision making. And this week is relationship skills. So we're going to be focusing specifically on communication, but relationship skills also includes building new relationships and then maintaining the relationships we already have with others and working well in teams, so good teamwork. So how did last week's skill go? Remember, last week's skill was we were going to do something nice for other people, and then we were going to check in at the end of the day with each other how that went. Good. Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good point. Doing something nice for someone doesn't have to be a big grand gesture. It can be you opened the door for someone, or you smiled at someone that looked like they were having a rough day. So it's just the little things sometimes. You don't have to do much, but so doing kindness for others. And how did you feel after you did something kind for someone else? Good. Yeah. Uplifted. Yeah. So positive psychology is a branch of psychology that talks about what makes us happy. And one study showed that they gave everyone $5, and they said, you can go buy yourself a coffee, or you can go buy someone else a coffee. And the people who bought someone else a coffee with that $5 actually showed more happiness than the people who bought the coffee for themselves. So showing kindness to others actually helps our own well-being as well. Okay, so relationship skills is made up of a couple different components. So we have communication, which is going to be our big focus tonight, but being able to express what you are feeling and what you need. We're going to talk about I statements. Social engagement, so really engaging and maintaining current friendships, but healthy friendships. So we can keep a friend for many years, but they aren't necessarily a good fit for us friend-wise. So considering what we want in a friend and looking at our current friendships and seeing if we are getting what we need out of that friendship, and if the other person's getting what they need out of that friendship as well. So how can we bring the best out in each other and really support each other? Making a friend, so making new social connections, especially when you're in new social situations. And then teamwork, so contributing to your team while also respecting other team members. So you're not taking over the team, but you're also not just sitting back unengaged, letting everyone do the work for you, and being able to navigate that. Okay, so a fun fact is that some studies show that up to 93% of our communication is nonverbal. So we're going to watch a little fun video on the importance of nonverbal communication as told by friends.
I'm pregnant. And you're the father, by the way, but you got
No one could get him to forgive us. I don't know.
I'm telling you. I can do it.
Yeah, he can do it.
He was like this crazy-eyed, hairy beast man. He was like a Bigfoot or a Yeti or something. Hi, just so you know, we didn't mean to fog you. We actually thought you were like a Yeti or something. Hi.
So you like the short hair better?
What? Yeti? Danny?
Steve? Hello?
Let's put aside the fact that you accidentally picked up my grandmother's ring and you accidentally proposed to Rachel.
When people do this, I don't really know what that means.
I'm sorry.
So that was just a fun way to highlight the ways that our bodies can convey what we're trying to communicate. So sometimes there's instances where our words are acting engaged or acting like we're involved, but if we're looking down and we're on our phone, or we're, some forward, or we're looking around the room, that can convey to someone else more so than our words that we're not engaged with what they're saying. So just be aware of your body language as you're talking to others, so that you can make sure that you're sending the message that you want to. Okay, so let's do a little activity. So I want you to type in the chat box what body language or nonverbal or verbal communication skills that you see when you know someone is listening to you. So how do you know when someone is listening to you? Okay, eye contact, yep. Nodding their head, yeah. Leaning forward. Yeah, repeating back what you said, good. Yeah. So 3 of those 4 that were mentioned were nonverbal. So our words are an important part, but most of the things that were listed and the first things that were listed were nonverbal. How do you know when someone is not listening to you? Yeah, they're looking around the room, on their phone. Yeah, asking you, what did you just say? Just not responding. Rolling their eyes. Yeah. So those are definitely all ways that we know someone is not listening to us. And again, a lot of those ways listed were nonverbal. So just be aware that your body conveys more than what your words do, and you want to make sure that your body and your words match. Okay, so in light of what we were talking about, we're going to watch a cute little video from Inside Out, but this just highlights what we're talking about with the listening and the not listening, and what your words are saying versus what your body language and nonverbal communication is saying. So look at the difference between how joy and sadness talk to Bing Bong.
No, you can't take my rocket to the nuts, Riley, and I'm going to the moon. Riley can't be done with me.
Hey, it's gonna be okay. We can fix this. We just need to get back to headquarters. Which way to the train station?
I had a whole trip planned for us.
Hey, who's ticklish, huh? Here comes the tickle monster. Hey, Bing Bong, look at this. Oh, here's a fun game. You point to the train station and we all go there. Won't that be fun? Come on, let's go to the train station.
I'm sorry they took your rocket. They took something that you loved. It's gone. Forever.
Sadness. Don't make him feel worse.
Sorry.
It's all I had left of Riley.
I bet you and Riley had great adventures.
Oh, they were wonderful. Once we flew back in time, we had breakfast twice that day.
Sadness.
Sounds amazing. I bet Riley liked it.
Oh, she did. We were best friends.
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm okay now. Come on. The train station is this way.
Okay, so what did you notice about the difference between how Joy spoke to Bing Bong and how Sadness spoke to Bing Bong? Yeah, Joy wanted to get going. So she was like, I hear you, let's go. And she was like dancing and trying to pull him away. Whereas Sadness took the time to sit down, reflected back what he was saying, and really listened. So I hear you, I hear what you're saying, and I'm sorry. So again, we talked last week about that compassion spectrum. So, Joy felt pity for him, like, yeah, I see you're hurting. And I would say she even cared and showed some sympathy, but Sadness was the one that showed all the way up the scale to compassion and really said, hey, I see you're suffering and I want to relieve some of that for you. So just being aware of how body language is conveyed. Sadness sat down, listened, showed the nonverbals, whereas Joy was already kind of running off. So our skill for the night is going to be I statements. So this is a good way to convey what you're feeling, what's making you feel that way, and what you need in order to feel better or make the situation better. So I feel, and you would insert your feeling in this first blank. And this takes us back to week 1 where we talked about all our different feelings vocabulary. So that's really going to help us out here because remember, we want to be specific. So instead of sad, we might say lonely, or instead of angry, we might say frustrated. So really try to be as specific and as clear as possible. When, you would say when you feel it. Now here's the tricky part. They're called I statements, not you statements. We call them I statements because we're really conveying how we feel. When you start using the word you, it can make the other person feel defensive, as if they did something wrong. And we're not trying to put blame. We're not trying to say someone did something wrong. We're trying to say, this is what I'm feeling. Because remember, last week we talked about perspectives. So I might do something and not realize the impact that it has on someone else, because from my perspective, what I did was totally fine and maybe even kind. But what their perspective might be very different, and they might be hurt by my actions. And if they don't tell me that, then I'm going to continue on as if my perspective is the perspective that they are seeing it too. So we want to make sure we're not using the word you. So I feel lonely when I am left out versus I feel lonely when you don't invite me to sit and eat lunch with you. So there's a difference there. So I'm saying what makes me feel lonely. And then I need to tell them what I need. So it's good information that they know what makes me feel lonely and when I feel it, but we need to tell them what they need to do in order to help us feel better. Now, that doesn't mean they're always going to do exactly what we need or what we ask, but being able to put the request out there, they can counter that with, yes, I can do that, or hey, I can't really do that, but let's compromise, or in the future I can invite you, or give them a chance to explain why they didn't invite you. So I feel lonely when I don't have anyone to eat lunch with. I need to be considered to be invited to eat lunch with you. So that's an I statement, the 3 different components. So I would recommend writing this down and posting it somewhere where you can easily refer back to it, because your homework is going to be to practice this. So let's go through a couple scenarios. So someone asks you to skip class with them. So this is obviously from the student perspective. So if your student's sitting with you, please have them, fill out this statement. If they're not, then, you can respond as you think a student would. But go ahead and type in the chat box how you would form that I statement. I feel nervous when asked to break the rules. Yes, I need to go to class. Yeah, great. Perfect, well put. And other feelings that might come up would be angry. You know, maybe they feel angry that their friend is putting them in this situation, or scared because we don't break the rules. Yeah, great. All right, let's do another scenario. One of your friends picks on the other students. Ooh, embarrassed, yeah. Yeah. I feel embarrassed when I see people being picked on. I need to see kindness. Yeah, I need to see kindness, compassion. I need people to get along. Yeah. Let's do one more. Your mom asked you to clean your room, but you want to go out with your friends. I feel frustrated when I have to do chores rather than going out with my friends. I need to be able to clean my room later. Yeah, that's great. Perfect. Sounds like you guys really have the hang of this. Oh, I lied. We have one more. You aren't sure what to do for your English essay assignment. So you would also need to consider here who you're directing your I statement to. So you could direct this to your teacher, or you could direct it to, you know, your parent, or you could direct it to a friend. So whoever you want to direct it to. Confused, yeah. I can't feel confused when I don't know what to do. I need directions, yeah. So, or more clear directions, or I need a conference, or I need time to chat with the teacher. So it really depends on who you're talking to. All right, so are there any other situations, or what are some situations that you can think of where an I statement would be helpful? And what would that I statement be? So I'm gonna give you this time to talk with your student. I'm gonna give you a few minutes, and I'm gonna pause the recording for those listening at home. But talk with your student about situations that you think that an I statement would be helpful. It could be situations in the home or in the school. And what would the I statement be? So go ahead and practice a little bit. And like I said, I'll pause the recording for those at home. All right, wonderful. So here's your homework. You are to use at least 2 I statements a day for at least 2 different emotions. So I would recommend even using this for some positive things too, because we want to say when things are going well, we want to point that out too, right? So and again, going back to our self-management strategies, if you practice it when you're calm and feeling well, then it will be easier to do when you're feeling angry or frustrated, or one of those less pleasant emotions on our mood meter. And then next week is responsible decision making, and that will be our final week. So very exciting. All right. Thank you so much for spending your night with me, and I hope everyone has a great night. I'll see you next week.